St. Egid ist ein schöner Ort. Er liegt so idyllisch mitten in der Bergwelt.
Ja, da hast du recht, aber das war nicht immer so. Denk an die letzte Geschichtsstunde. Damals, zur Zeit des Nationalsozialismus, gab es auch hier ein Konzentrationslager, ein Nebenlager von Mauthausen.
Das muss ja furchtbar gewesen sein damals.
Das war es auch. Hier waren etwa 500 Menschen inhaftiert und etwa 50 von ihnen überlebten nicht.
Woher weißt du darüber eigentlich so viel?
Im vorigen Jahr, da war Raimund Peyer bei uns, einer der letzten Überlebenden von damals. Er lebt heute in Kanada. Er war in der 4. Klasse und erzählte von seinen Erlebnissen. Er war so alt wie wir, als er damals ins KZ kam.
Where I was captured is because I was kidnapped by the Partizan. Actually, I was only 14 years old. April the 20th, 1944. Remember, I was 14 years old, and we were visiting outside Trieste. An uncle of my friend. We were scrounging for food because rationing, you know, it was bad after the war. Italy just lost the war. The Germans invaded that part of Trieste and Slovenia. So we went to look for food. And from Mauthausen, in February, we were shipped here to St. Egid. Ja.
Am Abend war ich dann auch noch bei der Gedenkfeier, wo ich mir ein Buch gekauft habe, das er geschrieben hat. Total interessant, aber auch ziemlich schlimm, was damals geschah.
How long were you here in St. Egid in the camp?
We were shipped from Mauthausen in February, and we were here until the last day of March. That's the last day where we buried our last friend.
Dort drüben, knapp außerhalb des Friedhofs, musste Herr Peyer einen italienischen Häftling begraben. Nur einen Tag, bevor sie zurück nach Mauthausen marschierten.
In St. Egid, we were working on leveling ground. Probably we leveled over here. Where is this school over here? I remember we used to come out, it wasn't far. We were leveling the ground. Probably right here, where is this school? And a little further, we're not going far. I remember that we were walking, you know. Our work was to level the ground because it was, yeah, probably they were preparing to build something. Something had to do with the tank ammunition or something like this. They were planning to build because he was in the middle of the mountains over here. They knew that the bombing would have been hard, you know what I mean? And we were preparing for that, but it never came to that because the war ended. But that's what was the idea, like over here, that we were doing.
Unsere Schule steht also auf einer Stelle, die damals Häftlinge für eine Panzermunitionsfabrik einebnen mussten.
Richtig, aber gut, dass damals der Krieg bald zu Ende war. Und so wurde außer dem Lagercamp nichts mehr gebaut.
What did the outside camp look like and which buildings were there?
Over here?
Yes, here.
Over here, actually, was only one. It was only one sleeping quarter. One sleeping quarter. At the end of the camp, we used to have the latrine.
Why did you come to the outside camp in St. Egid?
Why did they send me over here?
Yes.
I don't know how. Maybe because I was, considered as an Italian. You can see the eye over here. Eye, you know the eye. Even though I was considered by the number and everything, and they sent a group of Italian, and I don't know. Next thing you know, my name fell into that group, and we were sent over here. It was a group of maybe 30 or something like this.
How did the SS treat you?
No SS put a hand on me. Never kicked me, never slapped me, never beat me up, but the capos used to, of course, you know who are the capos, eh? They were the criminals were from the criminal system in Germany and in Austria. They were all criminal, and they didn't have a red, but green triangle. These were the criminals taken from the penitentiary, all hardened criminals, all people that kill other people. You know, they were not just small criminals. They were the worst criminals. Like they were in jail for life.
Also die Kapos, das waren die Schlimmsten, die allerschlimmsten, die Habt ihr schon gehört, ne? Also, waren echte Verbrecher und die waren praktisch die Chefs über sie. Ne?
They were the capos, and they were the ones that were controlling us. And of course, the firmest weapon they used was the gumi. Everybody knows about the gumi? Feel it? See what happens when you get hit with that thing. And it's lead. Right here in the bottom, there's a plug. Inside there's lead, like lead powder, and sand.
Um das zu verstärken noch.
Yeah. So I pass it around. Feel it.
Sind sie geschlagen worden.
So that's where we were being beaten by the capos. The SS never lay a hand on it. Oh, they used to kill, yeah, either by choking or maybe by shooting in the head, not the neck, they used to shoot in the neck, in the crematorium and so.
Dieser Gummi wurde von Raimund Peyer nach seinen Erinnerungen nachgebaut. Er hat ihn uns geschenkt als Mahnung, dass so etwas wirklich in St. Egid von einem Capo namens Max an Häftlingen verwendet wurde.
This was the weapon of Max, the capo. But Tony, the other, he was the head of all the capos, was using a stick, a pole, like, you know, and he used to be that with that. Where the other capo, Robert, was it? He used to kick. His fun was that, for no reason at all. You know, you're working and, come on, get moving, schnell, get mal los, like, you know, and he would, if somebody would kind of walk like a slow, he was kicking in the shins, like here. Not in the back, but right here. And you know, you're so skinny, the legs are maybe like this, and somebody kick you, you know, break the leg, compound, or you know, infections and this and that. So that was, you know, each one had his own idea. Like Max was using a gumi, Tony was using a stick, and Robert was kicking. That was over here in the camp over here in St. Egid, like, you know.
Bist du dabei? Fragen wir Frau Fleißner in Geschichte, ob wir heuer mit unserer Klasse die Gedenkfeier für die damaligen Inhaftierten gestalten dürfen.
In St. Egid waren 492 Männer aus 18 verschiedenen Nationen inhaftiert. Sie kamen natürlich alle vom Hauptlager Mauthausen, hatten aber teilweise vorher schon andere Stationen, wie Auschwitz, Großrosen, Dachau, Flossenbürg, Gusen, Buchenwald, Lublin oder Stutthof überlebt. So mussten die Häftlinge dieses Terrornetzwerk der Nationalsozialisten am eigenen Leib erleben.
Bronislaw Wojcik, einer von 195 Häftlingen aus Polen.
Stefan Pilko, ein Inhaftierter aus Kroatien.
Michel Debout, einer von 10 Häftlingen aus Frankreich.
This was the weapon that the capos from St. Egid was using on the guys working over here as slaves. Like, you see what happened? Like, I was slave. You know, slaves have no rights, eh? I was a slave. So many later, I come here and I'm an honored guest. Now, Austria is great. Thank you.